Have you ever scrolled through your feed, seen your favorite creator posting a perfect morning routine, a stunning vacation reel, or a hilarious new sketch, and thought, wow, they're living the dream? Well, what if I told you that behind that perfectly curated feed, there's often a quiet crisis brewing? A crisis of burnout that's become the loudest secret in the creator economy. Let's picture this. A beauty creator with millions of followers, a ring light shining, a planned-out video ready to go. The brand talking points are bolded, the thumbnail smile practiced. But instead of hitting post, she swipes it all into the trash. Why? She later said, "It's like my nervous system is wired to the algorithm. When the graph dips, I feel it in my chest." She's not the only one. From the biggest names to the micro-influencers just starting out, so many creators are feeling this deep exhaustion. It's this strange conflict between the validation you see online, the likes, the comments, the shares, and the private reality of just feeling completely drained. Likes, it turns out, don't heal what this work takes out of you. One of the biggest culprits? The workday that never, ever ends. Unlike a typical 9 to 5, for a creator, life is the work. Your morning coffee is content. Running errands becomes B-roll. A vacation isn't just a break, it's a location shoot. One lifestyle vlogger I read about, we'll call him Noah, put it perfectly. If you're not documenting, you're falling behind. But the second the camera is up, you're not living that moment anymore. You're working it. The daily grind is relentless. It starts with checking analytics, scanning for the latest trends, the hot new audio, or that viral dance. Afternoons are a blur of scripting, shooting, and editing for hours. And the nights? That's when the community management kicks in, replying to every comment, answering DMs, and going live. There's literally no off switch. A food creator, let's call her Cleo, who grew her channel exponentially in 1 year, said, "Even resting becomes content about rest." This pressure is something you can actually measure. Creators live and die by their dashboards. Watch time, retention curves, reshare rates. They learn to decipher these graphs like tea leaves. A sudden drop in views might mean the video's hook wasn't strong enough. A sudden spike is a blessing from the "for you" page gods. But this constant feedback loop, this data-driven roller coaster, wires your brain for volatility. It's like a Pavlovian experiment, where you're constantly chasing the ringing bell of engagement, hoping for that sweet reward of validation. And here is something most people don't need to see. Being an influencer isn't just about having a phone and good lighting. A successful creator is a one-person company, a full-stack business with almost no safety net. You're the CEO, the marketing department, the production studio, the accountant, and the customer service rep, all rolled into one. You're pitching to brands, managing shoot schedules, sending invoices, and trying to understand complex contracts. And you're also the HR department, but with an audience of one: yourself. There are no paid sick days. Taking a mental health break comes at the risk of falling out of favor with the ever-hungry algorithm. One talent manager said that creators are responsible for their own growth, legal compliance, and brand safety, often completely alone. If a video flops, there's no team to brainstorm with or a colleague to take over the next project. It's just you, against the endless feed. This instability is reflected in the income too. Brand deals might pour in 1 month and completely dry up the next. Payments can be delayed for weeks, even months, and your income can be slashed overnight because of a platform's strategic shift or a tweak to a recommendation system you had no control over. Imagine trying to create a budget when you have no idea what your next paycheck will look like, and it all depends on a button you didn't even press. This brings us to one of the cruelest ironies of creator life. You have all this responsibility, but very little real control. You can perfect your niche, hone your voice, and edit your videos to perfection. But at the end of the day, whether anyone sees your work is up to an opaque, mysterious algorithm, A single unannounced update can tank your numbers overnight. A fitness creator idol called Maya said that half her burnout wasn't from the workload itself, but from this feeling of being gaslit. You do everything right, follow all the best practices, and suddenly your views plummet, and you feel like you're being punished. Was it something I did? Did I post at the wrong time? She joked, "It's like farming on land you rent where the weather app is classified." This psychological burden gets even heavier when your identity is your brand. For creators from marginalized communities, the pressure to represent can amplify the scrutiny and toxic feedback. It's one thing to perform a skill. It's another thing entirely to perform your personhood for an audience. That's a weight that's heavier than any camera gear. So what does this burnout actually look like? It isn't always a dramatic collapse. Sometimes it looks like working even harder, posting more frequently, trying to push through it. But the creators who manage to step back often talk about the early warning signs. That spike of anxiety right before posting, feeling irritable over a small dip in engagement, insomnia from late-night editing sessions, and a creeping numbness. Even huge milestones, like hitting 1 million views, start to feel hollow. Cleo, the food creator, noticed she was obsessively checking her phone. Open the app, refresh, close it, and repeat every few minutes. She said her nervous system was just constantly on high alert. This is a real struggle, but it's often complicated by the public perception of influencer life. Many creators are told they're lucky to have escaped a real job, which can create a sense of shame and make them feel like they can't complain or take a break. A psychologist who works with digital media professionals pointed out the unique stressors involved. Constant self-monitoring, persistent comparison with peers, and the ever-present threat of a public pile-on. This is what they call parasocial labor, the work of managing millions of one-sided relationships, and it takes a significant cognitive and emotional toll. Another huge stressor is something sociologists call context collapse. Creators are speaking to multiple audiences at once: their close friends, their family, their fans, their critics, and brands. A joke meant for one group can be taken out of context by another and blown up into a controversy. A personal tragedy can become public discourse. You're constantly walking this tightrope, figuring out what to share and what to keep private. A comedy creator named Rena shared how torn she felt when her dad got sick. Her audience followed her for laughs, but she was falling apart. When she went quiet, her DMs flooded with questions, so she posted a raw, vulnerable update. It connected with people, but it also invited them into a very personal, painful part of her life she didn't necessarily want to live out loud. You can end up narrating your own life just to keep your audience engaged, and that's an incredible amount of pressure. Then there's the money. Brand partnerships are the lifeblood of the creator economy, but they come with their own set of challenges. Every sponsored post carries the risk of being called a sellout. Every post you don't monetize is lost income in a very unstable career. Saying no to a big paycheck from a brand you don't believe in takes serious courage, especially when you have rent to pay. Platforms are starting to notice. They've rolled out features like scheduling tools, better analytics, and even wellness guides. But these tools often help the creators who are already successful, and they address the symptoms, not the root cause. A scheduling tool is great, but it doesn't change the fundamental incentive structure that demands more content, more often, to stay relevant. So where's the hope? In the absence of formal support systems, creators are building their own. They're forming private group chats and Discord servers that function like unofficial unions. They share contract templates, warn each other about brands that don't pay on time, and just vent about the algorithm. They offer the kind of solidarity and peer support that can make this isolating career feel a little less lonely. Some have even started setting collective boundaries, like a no posting on Sundays rule. It's small, but it's a start. Talking publicly about burnout is becoming less of a taboo, but it's still a calculated risk. An "I'm taking a break" video can be met with compassion, or it can be met with criticism. But these conversations are vital. They're a reminder that behind every screen is a real person, dealing with real pressures. The creator economy is still young, and we're all still figuring out how to make it sustainable, not just for the platforms, but for the people who power it. So the next time you see a creator taking a break, maybe offer a little grace. The most valuable asset in this entire ecosystem isn't the algorithm or the brand deals. It's the creativity and well-being of the creators themselves. Thanks for watching. If this conversation resonated with you, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the world we live in today. See you next time.